So my day is going terrible, y'all. Just getting shut down for assistance over and over and over, and no one wants to help me. Everybody wants to, take a huge crap on me while I'm in, possibly the worst situation of my entire life. I'm being, mistreated, abused, and you know, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm being, and I can't get even assistance in court. Like, come on, man. We in the United States of America with thousands of lawyers, maybe probably hundreds of thousands of lawyers, maybe throughout the country. But I can't get one lawyer to stick with me through a legal process. Why? Then they tell me, oh, it's because I'm poor. So I got to deal with these po-ass, inconsiderate, illogical, and weak-ass legal aid people. So I was told, because of my income limitations, because I'm disabled, I'm not able to work I can't work hours. I can't do a lot of stuff because I'm limited because of my disabilities, y'all. I'm disabled. I get SSI. My SSI means that I am under the poverty line, by a good margin. And because of that, I qualify, or I should qualify, for representation through agencies like Smlrs. However, I was just told, despite the fact that I qualify for the program, financially at least, it says you recently contacted Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services, Smlrs, and talked to me on the hotline about the ETRA and illegal lockout you filed. So yeah, I told them that I filed a illegal lockout. I did all this on my own because it took me 8 days to speak to these people or anybody, really. I just started getting, I talked to a lawyer today. I believe this was a lawyer. I'm not sure I forgot her name. But I talked to the Smlrs lawyer, I believe. Let her know what was going on, gave her the whole rundown. She said this: I had the housing unit review your case, and they are unable to further assist you with representation. Although Smlrs is unable to further assist you with your representation, that does not mean that we are saying your concerns are without merit. So if you're saying my concerns, possibly have merit, then why can't y'all represent me? Okay, let's keep on going. It says, as we have limited resources, we are not able to offer full representation. Going to court and writing letters for you as your lawyer. To everyone on legal case, however, we hope that the free legal advice that we have offered to you helps you resolve your problem. For your ETRA, the statute says both petitioner and the court shall serve the notice of hearing of the landlord personally or by mail as soon as practicable. So they're giving me legal advice. Follow this, follow that, right? But do this all on your own. Now, I'm disabled. I'm not supposed to be doing shit on my own. I'm doing what I can, or what I'm trying the best to do what I can, because I don't have the assistance that I should have had out the fucking gate because I'm disabled. But let me just reiterate this. I have been told by Smlrs, the Southern Minnesota Legal Aid Office, the legal aid for my county, which is Ramsey County, they have told me that they will not assist me, okay? And their basis of not further assisting me with representation is because of their limited resources. Their limited resources. Despite having hundreds of lawyers They're not able to assist me. Okay? This is how the disabled and how the poor are treated in this country. We are vastly victims of anybody else who has money, who has resources, how these high-powered paid crooks called lawyers who take advantage of us and do us like this. I just want y'all to know that it's not because let's go over qualifications, y'all. Let me just go over qualifications. Let's go over Southern Minnesota legal aids, services and requirements. Let's read it over. Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services doesn't have a specific number requirements in the way that the phone number or license plate might. Instead, they have eligibility requirements based on income and the type of legal issue. My legal issue is illegal eviction, unlawful lockout, amongst many other issues tied around this particular case. But pick one that I qualify and represent me, assholes. Pardon my French. But yeah, pick one. I'm pretty sure one of these legal issues y'all could help out with. One of them. There's multiple issues, but y'all. If I threw 10 issues at y'all, and your, in your book or whatever, y'all say that y'all offer help with this, but then you turn around and tell me you can't help me with this, how is that not discrimination? How is it not considered discrimination? How is it not considered suspicious or questionable that y'all are turning me down for assistance as a client? Let's go over this. Let's go over this. To be eligible for Smlrs services as a client, gross annual income must fall or at or below the 125% of federal guidelines. For example, this currently equates to $14,000 a year for a single person and $30,000 a year for a family of 4. Okay? They primarily assist civil matters for low-income individuals and family. Do I fit that? Yes. I only make at the most about $10,000 a year. So I fall under about 150% under the federal guidelines. Okay? So I'm broke. I'm poor. I'm poor. Okay? I'm poor. I should qualify for their services. Let's see what services they offering, because they get calls every day. I waited 8 days for their services. Let's just see what offers, what they qualify. Let's go over this. Am I eligible? Let's hear this, bro. So I'm in the right location for to be represented. Ramsey's, look, so they cover Ramsey. So there goes my zip code right there, 55117. So I'm eligible by location. I'm eligible by the cost or by my eligibility, right? So I'm eligible on that. They don't really go in a breakdown on. They just got coverage area. Let's go back and let's see if any of this. Our services. Let's just go over services. What they claim they provide services for. We are dedicated to handle civil cases with respect and understanding. Okay, so it's very vague. If you have a problem involving family law, government benefit, housing, immigration, education law, senior law, and civil legal legal need, we may be able to assist. We may be able to assist. Yeah, keyword may. Right now, why would you may be able to assist? Why wouldn't you be able to assist? And y'all got hundreds of lawyers. Hundreds of lawyers, thousands of lawyers probably. Listen here, family. If you need help with the protection order, divorce, custody matter, individual child welfare act, we may be able to help. Our family law works focused on preserving stability for children and protecting victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking. Okay, so I was a victim of domestic violence when I initially reached out to y'all in February, and y'all turned me down then. I tried to get an order of protection on my sister, and y'all refused to help me and told me to do it on my own. I did it on my own, and then I got I got turned down. They denied my petition for the order of protection because I didn't have a lawyer, and my sister got a lawyer through the Volunteer Lawyer Network, despite the fact my sister makes way above the poverty line. She makes way more money, and she should not have qualified for legal aid. But she got legal aid, despite the fact that she makes nearly $100,000. My sister nearly made $100,000. I know this because my mom helped her with her taxes. So she has knowledge of my sister making excessive amounts of money. So we're going to go over the Volunteer Network because that's another place that I have to deal with. Look, I was told by the Volunteer Network yesterday that I had to talk to Smlrs first, and Smlrs had to deny me. And then I had to call back and request for them to take my case if Smlrs deny me. Which, now I got evidence that Smlrs has denied me. So now I have to go over to Volunteer Lawyer Network, somebody who just went against me for my sister, who didn't even qualify for the program, or wasn't supposed to qualify for the program. Now, if she did qualify for the program, that means that she did so through fraud. Okay? She gave false information that they didn't clarify or verify or whatever, right? They just took her word for it and decided to represent her. Okay? All right, legal risk director. Are you older Minnesotan? Do you have a problem with housing? Yeah. Financial exploitation? Yeah, because I'm disabled and there was money exchanged. And, now I'm being exploited financially by lawyers, by hotels, by, these programs, and everybody else with their greedy ass, fangs in my pockets, bleeding me dry. Let's keep on going. The risk director can help you decide if this legal case is what you need. Okay, so government benefit. If you have been denied government benefits, or if you had your grant reduced or terminated, we are able to help. Okay, I had a government benefit through Minnesota One Stop, who's also part of this housing, claim that I'm making against my landlord, Carl. That was terminated because of a false statement made by my housing coordinator. My housing coordinator lied to his supervisors and claimed that I threatened him. I have evidence that I did not threaten this man at all. He made a false statement to his boss. His boss did not do any investigation. They did not look over his claims. They did not verify his claims before they made an action against me. So they made actions against me without any oversight or investigation or confirmation that I did any of these things that this man is claiming that I'd done. So, because of that, I have been terminated off this government granted, program. So that makes me qualify for that, right? It says we may be able to help, or they might be able to help with that. Did they offer to help with that? Of course not. Let's keep on going. We ain't gonna even touch on the refugee thing. We ain't gonna touch on the educational. We ain't gonna talk on that. But look, they offer all this to all these different people, right? And most of them I qualify for. More issues. Smlrs may also be able to help. Additional issues, employment issues, guardianship, real property issues. So much help that they could get taxes. If you got tax problems, they'll help you. All this other stuff that you might qualify for. But for whatever reason, one of the main issues in this state right now is what? Evictions, homelessness. There's a homeless crisis in Minnesota right now. So why would there not be someone available to help me? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Hang on. Let's just ask the question to Google. Let's ask AI. Can legal aid refuse to provide services due to claims of what did they say? They're unable to assist because of limited resources. Okay? Their limited resources. I want to know. All right, so here goes what they say. Yes, legal aid organizations can refuse to provide services due to limited resources. Here's a breakdown of the key reasons why. Okay, so I guess they can do this. Listen, it says limited funding or high demand. Legal aid organizations often operate with tight budgets and face high demand for the services. The disparity between availability or available resources and the number of people needing assistance means that it can't serve everyone who qualifies. So even though I qualify, they still can't help me. If they say so. Okay? Rather, do they have to provide proof that they don't have the resources? Of course not. They don't have to provide any proof that they don't have the resources. So that means they could discriminate on you at will with this little out. Apparently it's legal at the moment. I hope that, this limitation I hope that this could be, challenged and there's some provision put on this, because to me, this is just a way of legally discriminating against you without consequences. Because unless y'all have proof that y'all, don't have lawyers that can service me, how could you deny me, right? All right, prioritization of causes. To maximize the impact with limited resources, many legal aid organizations prioritize case-based or factors such as immediate risk to personal safety. I'm homeless, which increases the risk of personal safety. Me living in my car is unsafe. Me living on the streets is unsafe. Me being legally evicted is an unsafe situation. It causes the risk of injury and the risk of my safety, to be extreme. It's pretty high. Risk of homelessness and essential needs. So that's also prioritization. So my case, that I'm actually supposed to be prioritized. All right, let's go. Causing a large cases affecting a large number of low-income individuals. So I'm also, check on that. So check so far. Compliance with specific funding restrictions or grants that require them to focus particularly issues or populations. I'm pretty sure that is also due to mainly the highest, legal, need as of right now, which, like I said, is homelessness. All right, I'm gonna come back to this. Damn, storage people, I hope they quit messing with me right now. So, okay, so as far as prioritization of cases. I'm pretty much in every category. So I should have the highest priority out of everybody else. Out of all the services that they're claiming that they provide, I should be at the top of their prioritization. But for whatever reason, I'm not. Right? I'm not able to be prioritized or, made a priority for Smlrs. Okay? Let's go. Important note, even if you meet the income guidelines, even if you meet the prioritization of cases, okay, legal aid programs are still need to consider their resources and case priorities, which I am a high priority. My case is a high priority case. It always recommended to contact your local legal aid office, which in my case is Smlrs. Okay? There's specific eligibility criteria, cases, prioritize and whether could they assist in your legal aid. So this is all right. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what I'm dealing with Southern Minnesota Legal Aid resources. I already knew, every time I've reached out to these people, they've always given me the same runaround, no matter how prioritized my situation is. I've called these people multiple times, over and over and over, and every time they have denied me services. I feel like I'm being discriminated on. I just feel like, I can't help the fact that I feel like I'm being discriminated on. But anyways, that's my experience with Southern Minnesota Legal Aid. Let's go to reviews and let's just see how other people feeling, because I feel like I'm being discriminated on. Hang on. Let me ask one last question. Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services denied me services despite a high priority priority case, and I qualify as low income. All right. Let's see what comes out after I say something like that. So, they got grievances. If you are a client, I'm not a client, and you are unhappy with our services, or if you have been denied assistance and would like to appeal the decision. See, they ain't ever tell me I could appeal the decision, but apparently I can appeal the decision, okay? And I'm going to appeal this decision today. Matter of fact, I might even do that while I'm recording right now. But when we turn down your case, what if you do not like how our lawyers is handling your case? What if you do not like how a volunteer lawyer is handling your case? All right, so when we turn to call us again if you do not understand if we did not understand your problem. Call us again if your situation changes. You can call if you do not understand why we cannot take your case. Contact our office and ask to talk to the person who is handling complaints. Okay, I guess we're back on that. And I'm going to do that right now while I'm recording. Hopefully it captures the call. All right, because I Doors slamming in my face all over the place, right? So I just got the phone with the guy from Smlrs. You know, they got this justice matters. Apparently, it doesn't matter. You know, it really. Apparently, it doesn't matter. Justice doesn't matter if they're so limited where they can't help you. Okay. Let me see. How many lawyers? How many lawyers does Smlrs in Minnesota have in Minnesota? Okay. Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services. Smlrs has around 60 lawyers in Minnesota. Okay, so maybe I was overwhooping on how many lawyers I thought that they had, but they have around 60 lawyers in Minnesota. In addition, Smlrs also employs around 40 other staff members and have hundreds of volunteer attorneys. Hundreds, okay? So they have hundreds of volunteer employees, okay? Or volunteer attorneys. So they have 60 lawyers, and then they have hundreds of volunteer attorneys. They handle large volumes of cases, closing approximately 10,000 cases annually, and serve an additional 20,000 people through community education and outreach, according to Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services. So that's according to them. You know, that wasn't a report taken by anybody else. So I'm about to say, you know, my suspicions that y'all actually are doing that are very high. Okay? I'm just going to let you know that it's pretty high. You know, because while I see that on this AI overview from what y'all claiming, and then I also see right here, Smlrs has experienced dramatic staff of 55 attorneys and 45 additional staff. So that's a different number than what you had, you know. So apparently it's going up and down or around. It's not the same numbers, but, you know, that's neither here or there. So they have hundreds of attorneys and only 60 lawyers. And, you know, I'm just some unlucky guy who you know, is relying on these people. They're the only ones that are a part of the legal aid in my area, and they won't help me. I've called them multiple times about multiple cases, different times of the year. Both times I've been told they can't help me. There's nothing they could do. Limited resources. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? Things that they say that they do, but then they don't do. But do they give me additional resources? They gave me Volunteer Lawyer Network, which is one. Okay, it's not enough to say, oh yeah, they're giving me multiple, you know, other people services. They gave me one other entity, which is Volunteer Lawyers Network. I've been denied from Volunteers Lawyer Network before. Then what? After that, then what? Am I just SOL? I'm just shit out of luck. Because look here, they gave me the Volunteer Lawyer Network. I just called them. Okay? I just called Volunteer Network. I want y'all to see I called them. All right, their number's up there somewhere. So I just called Volunteer Lawyer Network. Volunteer Lawyer Network is closed. I'm going to show y'all right now. We go to the Volunteer Lawyer Network. Y'all see that right there? Right next to a nonprofit organization, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Closed. Okay? It says closed. So they're closed. They're only open from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Okay? So we got this small little window from 10 a.m. to 1. So that's 10, 11, 12, 1. So that's 3 hours. A 3-hour window in order to talk to someone, possibly. Just for them to tell you they can't help you. Or it's highly likely that they're going to tell me that they can't help me. And then what, people? Then what? What if the volunteer network can't help me? And I've just waited for them another, was it 72 hours or some shit like that? And I do all that just for them to tell me you're SOL. I can't catch a break in Minnesota, bro. Minneapolis is one of the worst states in the country when it comes to legally assisting Minnesotans. So this is another reason why I have got to go. The time is up for me in Minnesota. I've got to move out. I got to move out of Minnesota, bro. Minnesota is an evil place. It's very dangerous. It's inhospitable. It's uninhabitable. And there's nothing but fuckery here, bro. I gotta go. It's time. I've got to go. Gotta go, bro. I gotta go. All right, so here goes reviews. Let's read the reviews, bro. A 2 out of 6. Abysmal performances. So they've been around for 100 years, and for whatever reason, they have one of the worst or some of the worst reviews I done seen for any community-based organization. I think they're even worse than Minnesota One Stop. Okay? Except these people have been in existence for over 100 years. Okay? Claiming they doing this, claiming they doing that. But listen here, they're obviously doing something wrong, bro. So let's read over these horror stories. Rachel Lotzowitzer wrote, "What a joke. First off, they answered the phone with the attitude and continue to respond with an annoyance. Second, they're absolutely nothing volunteer accessible with these people. They came with attitudes. I hung up right away the moment she started to try and do the initial intake. Silly story, actually. She knew my situation and mentioned another community-based organization. Asked if I had reached out to them, and even as clueless as lost as I am, instead of maybe kindly suggesting I should reach out to them first, she was more interested to continue the intake so that they can make money. Yikes. So I didn't know they made money from just doing the intake. So if they do intakes, whether they take you as a client or not, they're still getting payment for that, right? Of course. So Kay Trebesh wrote, I recently reached out to Volunteer Lawyers Network in hopes of receiving assistance with a serious legal matter. While I understand, that's what I did too. I reached out to Volunteer Network before I reached out to Smlrs. Because I've been told from Smlrs before that, they weren't going to help me. So, over and over with this. So, while I understand that income threshold plays a role in determining eligibility, I was disappointed that my situation was answered solely by numbers without deeper conversations about actual financial reality or the context behind my request. Yes, my income on paper may be higher than their cutoff, but that doesn't mean I have financial access to the resources. Okay, so you didn't qualify because of the financial issue. All right, so it says here, I hope the VLN continues to grow on this. Is this the Volunteer Network? Okay, so this is the Volunteer Network that I'm reading. I'm reading their so the Volunteer Lawyer Network has abysmal reviews so far. Okay, let's go back to just Southern Minnesota legal aid. Let's read over some of their reviews. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to do a whole video going over these people's reviews, y'all. Let's read over their reviews, bro. It's crazy. All right. Because I'm about to file a complaint. I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna file a complaint. Because this shit, we might need a class action lawsuit, people. All right. So I don't see Minnesota. I don't see their Google where you can leave reviews like that. Ooh, all right, so they don't have a little Google page like Volunteer Lawyer Networks. Okay. They probably trying not to get their ass lit up in the reviews. That's the only reason why I could say that they don't have one of those whoops, so that they don't get their ass lit up in the reviews. Let's see, Facebook, Yelp, Southern Minnesota Legal Services. Let's see what they saying on Yelp. Mm-hmm. All right, so I don't see any reviews specifically on Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services, Smlrs. Let's see if Facebook, if we got some better whoop on Facebook, better reviews on Facebook. Mentions, let's see. Because I just want to know about other people's experiences. Was my experience just horrible, or was other people's experiences just as bad? Alright, so they got all this stuff, all this little nonsense going on. Oh, 10-mile walk and all this shit. They got plenty of time to do this shit, but they ain't got time to represent you or get you represented. Smlrs.com, Reels, mentions. Okay. Legal services, blah, blah, blah. So this hasn't been updated since July 18th. That was last month. Walk-in office, all hours. And, you go in there just for them to tell you they ain't going to help you because they're limited resources. Get that by the bitch. Free legal resources and blah, blah, blah. Okay, alright. Still, I don't see any reviews. I don't see any reviews, people. Alright. Anything about... Alright. I'm not seeing much for any reviews. I can't really get a clear review, bro. Like a clear review on these people. Because they don't, it's kind of a mystery on this little situation. Probono.net. Never heard of this site, but I'm gonna have to look into this site a little bit more. So apparently these people do pro bono because how could they be on here if they're... Anyways, volunteer program inbox to contact volunteer lawyer, blah blah blah. Probono.net. Let's our networks. How about that? Explore our network. Minnesota's on there. Pro Justice Minnesota, volunteer attorneys. Yeah, Minnesota legal advice. Online pro bono organization directory. How about that? Members area. Ain't that about a bitch? So it's behind some kind of paywall or whatever. It's behind some kind of join or shit where you gotta give these people some information and kind of like allow them access to certain stuff, like maybe your email. I don't like that type of stuff because it feels like they're trying to like infiltrate your privacy. If it makes it very hard. So I'm gonna leave that for now. But yeah, like I said, apparently, excuse me, I can't be watching that. All right, I'm out.